Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next multiplayer matchup. We are going to be doing the Imperial Ruin Strategic Command, 2,000 points. It is a mirror match, Blood Angels. We're doing an 80-point target, 8-turn limit. I'm going to be doing our classic jump infantry with land speeder support. So I think this should be highly effective. We'll have to see what kind of force our opponent brings and see what we can do here. So as you can see, I have our lieutenant, so he can buff everybody. He's got the standard bolt pistol chainsword. I have 2 sanguinary priests with their standard kits just to help heal and buff. I have 2 sanguinary guard with the axes and the bolt guns, 2 predators, 2 torpedoes. One has the multi-melta and the other one has the regular bolter, and then everybody else is just assault marines with standard weapons. And what we'll do is just bring the land speeder over this way, but we'll jump these guys over here to kind of help us get into position to be able to capture that point the following turn. And we'll bring the land speeder up here to try to help. And we'll get these guys all into position so we can hopefully kind of push as much as possible here. And then I might regret sending all these forces this way, but I want to guarantee that I can capture and hold this spot to the right and the left here, and then we'll fight in the middle. And then because we have all these other commanders there, I don't know if it really makes sense for us to jump with the last 2 assault squads there, so we'll keep you this way. And then we should be able to capture 3 locations next turn. So we can see he's got movement here. It's 5 to 5. So we'll run you over to here to capture that point. We'll move you over here to try to back him up. And we'll bring the predator over here too. I could just hide you behind cover here, which is what I think I'm going to do. And then make him come to us. I can bring you all the way up to here and bring these guys up to here and the land speeder over this way. So as expected, he has a land speeder here. I suspect he probably has a second one too, because we did see 2 auspecs over here. I suppose it could be a jump infantry as well, but less likely to be the case. Most people will bring land speeders over here. That's why I wanted to have my tornado with the multi-melta on this side compared to the other side, as I feel like it's most beneficial to have them over here to help me see what I can do. And then what I'll do is I'll just set you for overwatch to here, and hopefully that'll stop him from coming over and attacking you. Ideally, I would move the assault squad up 1 more, but I don't know how many of those multi-meltas he has there, and if he blows up my predator, I don't want it to blow up and hurt my infantry. Now, I think what I can do here is I typically keep the lieutenant in the back, and that way he can just buff everybody, but I think what I want to do is bring him up, and I think I can actually move a corner. I can, so then we'll move you to here, we'll capture this point. We can see he's got land speeder and assault squads there, so we'll start to pull you back and force him to come up to us if he wants to capture some points here. And we'll move you into the center so that way we can buff everybody. And in fact, I think what I probably want to do is just move the assault squads to the front, and that way they will soak up the shots if they get attacked, and that way it keeps the sanguinary guard more likely to stay alive, because they're going to be my MVPs on this map, assuming I'm going to need them to kill a bunch of guys. Now, interestingly, he's bringing the Invictor Warsuit. I typically don't recommend that when you're fighting against the Space Marines, because as you can see, they just don't have enough armor piercing to even wipe out a single assault squad there, because the Frag Assault only has 1 armor piercing. His other free attacks have, I think, like 2 to 3, Now, the main assault cannon can do good damage, and had he buffed them with the ability to do bonus damage, he probably would have wiped out that squad, which is definitely what I recommend. That way they don't throw crack grenades and stuff on you. He is poking these guys apart, but it actually looks like he's doing a very multi-meta. Oh my god, I can't talk. A melt-a-gun build is what I'm trying to say, very poorly. And then interesting, it looks like he gave his assault squads hand flamers. That typically indicates that you're fighting a newer player, especially if they're doing a mirror match against the Space Marines, because the hand flamers do not have the armor piercing to be able to do enough damage, because even your lowest tier units, I think, have 3 to 4 armor. Yeah, he's got intercessors too, so that's another red flag that this is probably a newer player. So definitely kind of an interesting build. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit here, but I think I can definitely punish him pretty hard. It looks like I can jump to all these spots. What I don't know is how far he moved his Overwatch, because what I'd like to do is move the Lieutenant over one more square, and then I can buff the momentum gains for everybody in 2 tiles from him by 50% for 2 turns. I don't think it really matters that I didn't do that other Sanguinary Guard, so let's hold off on that. Let's increase the melee damage by 25% for 2 turns. We'll give them the Sacred Chalice, and because they're getting 50% more momentum, it boosts the momentum gains up to 64. And then we can heal these guys. Now these guys are alive. I think what I'll do is I'll just bring them over here to try to soak up the Overwatch shots. Now perhaps what would be a smarter move would be for me to have thrown the crack grenade and then just jumped over here. And then I would have got at least damage done by him. But the big thing is I want to make sure that I can get some kills here. So I can then just have the Sanguinary Guard go crazy. But because the Sanguinary Guard are going to have to do charge attacks, I don't want them to get suppressed. So what I'm going to do here is, yes, I have a 100% chance to hit, but I want to increase their melee accuracy and melee damage by 50%. So now he's done 84 damage. I can't get behind him, unfortunately. So that's going to do 200 to 300, so I can't guarantee that kill because he's got that bonus armor from the Tech Marine, so I think I'm just going to use the crack grenade here. And that did 110, so that would have been enough. So now what I'm going to do is I activated that ability here. And so what that does is it increases their accuracy. So now, yeah, see, that would have been 245 damage. Now because I can surge, I have bonus movements, and I can move you over to here. And then these guys can for sure kill this guy. Now, unfortunately, we did not get our bonus AP for that kill there, because then I could have got attacked for a 3rd time. So what I'm going to do is put on Tactical Precision to get additional armor piercing and increase the chance to hit by 20. Because you're not going to be able to one-shot the Librarian Dreadnought, so I don't think there's any reason to use your other bonus. Let's just jump over here, and because this is a charge attack, they won't attack back. And you almost were able to kill him. So yeah, had I not have wasted that other assault squad, I could have taken out both the Librarian and that Invictus Warsuit this turn. But overall, it's still working to be very advantageous for us, so we can move both of these guys over. So I think if I can land enough attacks, this should be enough to wipe out the Land Speeder Tornado, which is definitely something I want to do because I want to advance with my assault squads. But that heavy flamer here, nice, we did drop him, can really do some substantial damage. So I'd like to jump these guys over here. because if he wants to counter jump, then my other units can easily get the kill. Now they won't be able to attack at an angle here. So effectively that means I'm going to have to do a charge attack. So if I move with you because you're one closer, you'll be able to get here, and then you can soak up that intercessor overwatch and not have to worry about getting suppressed. Because if you just move, there's no suppression. But if you do a charge attack, you could get suppressed because of the bonus damage that you are able to aggro there. So can't quite guarantee, but now we have an 80% chance to hit. So the one downside to using this ability is that it increases the amount of range damage that my units can take. And that if it's the flamers, then that means the flamers would be able to totally do a squad wipe with a single attack. So that's why I got to take it pretty seriously. Now it's even going to allow those intercessors and maybe even the hand flamers to do some damage to me. Now he's got a Melta as well. Yeah, they all have Meltas. So I think what I'm going to want to do, I could move you up to here to flame those assault squad, but again, I'm not going to be able to get the kill if I do that. So what I'm going to do is I'll move up with my Predator here and then shoot, and then if he eats the multi-melta attack, then maybe I'll move up with the other guys. So, okay, so he's got it much closer. So then what I'll do is attack here. And then we can throw this and pull you back. Alright, we were able to get the kill, so that's good. Because I was going to say, really what I should have done is pulled him back first. That way we would have had a better chance to hit. I don't want you to eat all those attacks, because even though you have 7 armor, you still get hit for pretty decent amounts of damage. So I'll have you just shoot into these guys. You should be able to kill at least one model. So yeah, you do like 1.5 models worth of damage. And then we'll pull you back. And if they decide to counterattack you, then you still have your heavy flamer. And because points are awarded on his team, I don't think it makes sense to sacrifice the assault squad, because if I move him up and he attacks me, that'll aggro him to get into closer range, and that will allow my Predator and Land Speeder to be able to get some decent attacks. We'll just put him behind cover here. And what I will do over here is, because I want these guys to be able to fight, is we're gonna pull back the commander, because I don't want to sacrifice his points. And we'll pull these guys back to here, and if he decides to jump me with the assault squads, then these other guys can attack. We'll body block here to stop him from being able to capture that point back from me. And then this guy should be out of damage range. Alright, so as expected, he's moving up with the Land Speeder. These guys are fighting. So as you can see, they take 75% increased range damage. So probably those intercessors would have been enough to get the kill. He's pulling these guys back because he doesn't want to take all that range damage. He's moving these guys up. And just like how the assault squad has the ability to increase their accuracy and damage for taking increased range damage, the intercessors have kind of an opposite ability. It increases their damage and I think accuracy, but in exchange they take more melee damage. So he's doing a strafing run here. So he'll move these guys down. That looks like a good hit. Now that's kind of weird because he's shooting them behind cover, so I'm not sure why he's doing that. He's moving these guys over here to attack, and unfortunately he only did 40 damage. Oh, I see, he's going to be able to flame through there. I wasn't expecting that. And he's got these guys over here. Now this surprises me that he did that. Because if he would have just attacked me with the Force Halber, he would have killed some of my Sanguinary Guard models here. So he really helped me out by doing that. Yes, that explosion allowed him to wipe out my assault squad, but I'm able to just run these Sanguinary Priests over here to start healing, so that's going to negate a lot of the damage he just did to them. And by allowing these guys to surge, with the Blood Angels, the more momentum they have, the more critical hit chance they have. So I should be able to just move over here and attack this tank, and I think I should be able to one-shot him. And it looks like, yeah, I can. So I'm going to be doing 225 to even more. So we do 441 damage. So we one-shot that. Now, unfortunately, we did not get the bonus... the bonus attack. So we'll just start moving these guys over this way to try to help us to get some kills, because now that they're pulling back, he's not going to be able to capture this point from us. So we want to just keep advancing as much as we can. I guess we'll just shoot into here. Yeah, he did some decent damage. It's not amazing. Throw the crack grenade down. Yes. Let's see. I can't charge anybody. They're too far away. So I guess I can just lock guys down here. I think maybe what I should have done is this is one of the few times when using that ability to give them the increased movement in exchange for the increased... because you can, he has that ability with the sword that will allow him to have increased movement and increases damage in exchange for one of the AP. So I think if I would have done that, I actually could have gotten an attack that turn. So we squad wiped here. Now the big thing is I want to take out this land speeder. So we'll move you over to here and shoot into here. And that did pretty decent damage, but now you've got that zone of control going. And we're going to run these guys over here, and then I think between the flank attack and the bonus damage I should be able to get the kill. And we do. So now, if I ran you down here, then the following turn he'll for sure kill you, and then that explosion will take out our assault marines, and we know he's willing to use the explosion damage that way. So what I'm going to do is I'll move you down to here, and we'll surge, and then we'll have you attack here, and you squad wipe, so you should definitely get a bonus attack. Yep, because now you have that chance to trigger. And then if I have you over here, you should do shit tons of damage and squad wipe these guys. And that actually gave you enough momentum to be able to move again and surge. So we'll still get our 3 attacks. And then you'll squad wipe here again because they used their ability. That allows them to take bonus melee damage. And so it makes it real easy for me to get the kills here. I can have you jump these guys over here or there. I guess I just assume that you take out these guys over here. Alright, good. And now you've locked those guys down. And we won't move you, but we do have 2 command points here now. So at the, you saw the tier 1 ability where he used that strafing run on me. The tier 2 ability is summoning in an assault squad, and then they get 2 attacks on the first turn because the first time they get summoned in, this is considered a charge attack. Now you can't control at what angle they attack, and now thankfully he went behind because now he does not have to worry about that zone of control, and now we can get a rear attack with the bonus damage, and we do another 104 damage, and I can now move these guys behind here to lock down this position. So that's huge for us. So yeah, that Heirs of Ascalon, or whatever it's called, that increases his accuracy with both melee and ranged attacks, and per model killed, it triggers the chance to get AP back. It's kind of like that natural killer ability that the Tyranids have. And so now he doesn't have enough armor piercing to be able to attack there. He's doing a melee attack because he's there. Honestly, what would probably make more sense with his build is he should have moved it back because there's no area or zone of control. And then that would have allowed him to use the multi-melt again, and that would have done more damage to the Predator tank and maybe even allowed him to get the kill. And so you can see the very stark difference in the amount of damage that those guys did, since they didn't have the bonus damage because he didn't nerf himself with that debuff. Interesting. So I guess grenades can now do grazing hits. I've never seen that before. So we'll just have you attack here. And so he did 87 damage. And then you still have some movement, so we'll pull you back. And then even at 60% chance, that should still be enough to kill this guy. And it is. And so we squad wiped our opponent here. So pretty overwhelming victory for us on this mirror match. This player did say that he's maybe a little bit newer, so I told him I'd upload this video to kind of give him some input. So as you can see, he's got Intercessors, Librarian, Predator, Assault Squad, 2 of them, Furioso, Dreadnought, Land Speeder, Tornado, and a Land Speeder. And then obviously his heroes here, but our Lieutenant at 100% accuracy, Sanguinary Priests have 0% because they're buffers and healers, not attackers. Our Sanguinary Guard has 100% accuracy with 5 kills. Our Predator has 50, and then the other one has 80% accuracy. Land Speeder Tornado has 100% accuracy. The other one has 95, so definitely pretty nice there. Our Assault Squads, because we were mostly attacking them while they were buffed, were 100% accuracy. And the other Sanguinary Guard was 100% accuracy with 2 kills, and then the Assault Squad had 80% accuracy for the other one here. So as you can see, the Jump Boys definitely is a pretty aggressive play style, but it's very effective because it allows you to take care of a lot of different units. And it also allows you to cover a lot of ground, especially on these strategic command maps. Now for him, this kind of build would work much better against, say, Orcs, Tyranids, or potentially even Astra Militarum, because it has a lot of high attack, low armor piercing. And so when you're fighting something like the Space Marines that are all medium to heavy tier armored units, it's not going to be very effective. You know, the Intercessors aren't going to have the amount of damage that they can do. I'd recommend that you watch my unit guides for the Space Marines, because you'll see, first of all, I just hate the Intercessors. I think they rarely make sense unless you're playing, you know, Tyranids or maybe even Adeptus Sororitas, because they have a couple of real light armored infantry units that will allow you to counter. But had you just exchanged those Intercessors out for the Assault Squads, they would have paid much more higher dividends for you, because you would have been able to easily taken out some of those Sanguinary guards. You would have given you the option to be able to jump. Again, you know, the Hand Flamers are good against low armored units, but they suck against high armored units, so not what you want to be bringing on this matchup. The Librarian Dreadnought, it seems like you really like to use that unit. He is very good, but again, his big thing is being able to tank, do really high damage, and then be a buffer. And so you were using him as like a ranged combatant, but if you get the kill for whatever model you're attacking, then you don't have to worry about a counterattack, and you have splash damage with that Haliber. So it would have made much more sense for you to have done an attack with the Haliber instead of doing the strafing run, because if you would have done 2 Haliber attacks, you would have almost squad wiped out those Sanguinary guard. And then had you had the Assault Squads, then you would have been able to taken out that other squad, and then I wouldn't have been able to just run crazy with getting all those kills with the Sanguinary Guard, because that was really your downfall, is you let me take full advantage of the bonus AP and momentum gains to allow them to just do attack after attack after attack, and then you buffed me even further by using abilities that allow you to suffer increased melee damage, because this game gives you a lot of momentum when you wipe out a Space Marine because they're a tankier unit. Now the Predator is perfectly reasonable because of all the shots they have. They still do decent damage even against more heavily armored units. The Furioso Dreadnought can be an okay matchup. Typically you won't want to use it on another Space Marine player because they're going to have so much armor piercing abilities, and it's much more cost effective if you want to do the multi-melta to just put them on Tornadoes or Land Speeders instead of the Furioso. And again, the Invictus Warsuit, I generally don't recommend that against other Space Marine players because it just doesn't have enough armor piercing for a lot of those attacks to make a lot of sense. So had you, instead of the Furioso Dreadnought and the Invictus, gone with another Librarian Dreadnought, assuming you can get 2 of them on a 2,000 point matchup, I don't remember what the momentum cutoffs are, or if you just gone with Sanguinary Guard instead, that would have been a much more fruitful unit selection for you there. But otherwise, you seem to have a decent understanding of how to use the land speeders. The big thing is if you're going to use them real aggressively where they're going to get attacked, just make sure you're always putting them in a position where their rear is going to be safe, because you allowed me to get some real easy rear attacks on your vehicles. And how that works is it gives you bonus damage, and it gives the attacker increased accuracy. So as you were seeing, when I was getting rear attacks, I was having 100% accuracy and I was doing more damage. And so that allowed me to really chop through that armor even easier. So you just got to be very, very cautious with that. But I think if you kind of take those things into consideration, that'll allow you to make a much more aggressive army build. So again, I'd highly recommend that you watch my unit guide where I kind of go through every one of the units for each faction and kind of give the pros and cons. And then I also have a faction versus faction series with some different builds. And if there's certain matchups that you need help with, you know, you can certainly request it in the comments. And once I restart that series again, I can see what I can do for you. I'll upload some other matches that we had too, just to give you some feedback, because I said I would. But if there's other people that are, you know, new to this game and want to play around and are struggling and want to play a match with me and kind of get some feedback after the match, I'm more than happy to do that. Just send me a message on YouTube and create a private game and just let me know what the password is, and I'll join and upload the match. Likewise, if you're a more experienced player and you just want to play me and embarrass me in front of everybody, that's great too. I'm always up for that. So again, just send me a message on YouTube. Otherwise, if you have certain matchups you want to show off, or if you've figured out some real good builds that you want to show off to everybody, just again send me a message and I'll select whatever faction you want, and you can show me your counterforce if you think you have a better faction versus faction army build than the one that I show off for a couple of examples. Again, it's all about kind of helping the community, because this game does have a big learning curve, so I want to try to get as many people into it as possible, because I think when new people join, they get kind of discouraged if they get totally tabled like this and they're like, I can't do this, I can beat the AI, why can't I have a competitive build? And it's just because it's a totally different situation when you're playing against a human player compared to the AI, and you have to kind of have a little more strategic thought into these army builds. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. Encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.